I am David. This is Elle. Not to confuse the two of us, hopefully you can tell the difference there. And we're two of the founders of Jumpstart Go, who runs this Facebook group, Marketing for Insurance Agents, that you guys are all part of and watching. We specialize in helping insurance agents double or triple their production, fire their lead vendor, and ditch the smiling and dialing forever through organic marketing strategies, meaning free marketing strategies. So we founded Jumpstart Go back in 2018. We come from marketing consulting backgrounds before that for a lot of different industries and ran that stuff all over the world before focusing just to the insurance industry in 2018. We created this Facebook group about 5.5 years ago, and it's grown to over 33,500 insurance agents all across the country, all lines of insurance, captives, independents. It's just a place where they can come together, they can learn, they can find referral partners, they can mastermind, knowledge share, and we do a bit of training every Monday here at 4 p.m. Eastern. Right now, put it on your calendar. We either do a Facebook Live or webinar, and definitely don't miss it, as we've probably done about 500 plus insurance trainings as a part of this group. There's hundreds of thousands of posts in here and a lot of amazing people. So glad to have you as part of the community. Feel free to dive in. We've consulted for over 550 different insurance agencies, help them grow and scale from brand new to 8-9 figure agencies that we've worked with. We've generated between 3.5 to 4 million through social media, and we teach our clients how to grow through these strategies and not only grow, but grow more profitably and sustainably and through relationships, not transactions. So that's what you're looking for. You're in the right spot. With that said, Elle, anything before we kind of dive into tonight?
I'm excited to dive into it.
Okay, we'll rock and roll. So I'm gonna go ahead and tee up the training a little bit for what we're gonna be talking about. And if this resonates with you, then you're in the right spot for tonight. So if you've ever tried to use social media to generate leads, which I think a lot of you guys have or thinking about it, and you've only gotten crickets, then you're in the right training, right? We don't want the crickets, we want clients. So it should be like a sting. I should get that tattooed or something. Today, we are breaking down the strategies that our clients use to generate 20 to 30 plus leads per week from social media. That's over 100 leads per month on average. And we'll be covering the top reasons why certain posts don't generate the desired results. We're going to put the time and work into something, we want results. We don't want to just waste time and energy, right? How to boost the algorithm to increase your visibility, plus reach the right audience and get more leads, right? I think we all want that. And the best content pieces you should be consistently sharing right now to drive meaningful interactions and generate leads. And hint, it's not want a free quote. Okay, guys, if that's all you're posting on social, that's what you're trying to get people to reach out to you from, there's a reason it's not working, right? So we'll dive into that. So get your pens and notepads ready. We're diving deep on this one. Be ready to take some notes. So we're ready to dive in and rock and roll. So Elle, let's talk about the top reasons why certain posts don't generate the desired results. And we'll talk a little bit about platforms and stuff too, but Elle, why aren't posts generating those results?
Yeah, a good place to always start with this is that there is some like behind the scenes stuff that happens to make a really effective social media strategy. And this is probably the stuff like, so if you're posting and you're like, man, all I feel like I'm getting are the cricket, then check out like what your behind the scenes activity is that you're doing. So the very, very first thing, and if you've been on a training with us before, you've probably heard us say this, is that you need to be using your personal profile and not your business page. Is it good to have a business page? Yes, absolutely. It's good to have a business page, but for your content strategy, unless you want to pay a lot of money to Facebook in the form of ads, and if you want to generate leads using organic strategies without needing to pay for advertising, your personal profile is gonna be where it's at. David, why is that?
Why is that? Why personal instead of business page? So keeping it short here, it all comes down to money, as does a lot of things in life, right? And so Facebook, which I'm gonna use as an example here, other platforms are the same, makes us money through ads. I know everybody thought it was free and a nonprofit and there for the good of society. I'm here to tell you, probably not. No, Facebook's publicly traded, it's a for-profit company, it wants to get paid. Zuckerberg wants that money so he can go fight Elon or something. I don't know what he does. us. So anyways, so the whole way Facebook's designed to work and programmed, and this is how it's been developed, is to make Facebook money. And it makes money through ads. So Facebook has no incentive to help you get a whole bunch of people for free through your business page, because then you wouldn't pay for ads or for boosted posts or anything there, which, hey, that means it would go out of business because it doesn't charge users to be on there, and then we wouldn't have Facebook anymore. So that makes no sense, right? Facebook isn't looking to go out of business, it's looking to make money. So that means it purposely limits business page reach to a whopping 1% or less of the people actually see it when I post on there, because they want you to spend on ads and stuff instead. That means if I've got 1,000 people that I spend a lot of time, energy, and probably money getting to follow my business page, that means maybe 10 people will see it whenever I post. It is like shouting out into the desert. It is like building an amazing restaurant or hotel in the middle of nowhere that no one knows exists. It doesn't do us any good, even if we have amazing ways that we're helping people in content. So personal profile, exact opposite. It wants people engaging, interacting, connecting, spending time, because that means more money for Facebook, because it gets to serve more ads while they're hanging out on the platform. This is why personal profiles result in a lot more prospects, clients, strategic referral partners, people reaching out to you, wanting to chat with you, wanting to sit down for appointments and meetings with you, because that is what's actually incentivized to connect and get in front of people and to get into discussions with people and chats. So that's why we want to use the personal profile. It also helps build that know, like, and trust, which I saw some comments on as well. People want to see who they might be working with, trust them, reach out to them, and that's really important, especially in the area of insurance, where we're protecting everything important in their lives, including their life. Elle, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think that this is something that is commonly just overlooked in general, and really just comes down to, like, a lot of people think like, oh, business on business and personal on personal. But I think first understanding like how that algorithm works is absolutely key here. And then once you kind of start putting yourself in the mind's eye of these social platforms, really thinking about how they're making money, it helps you better understand how to leverage the algorithm, how to start really using social media as a tool for business. So are you currently using your personal profile? Are you doing a mixture of business content and personal content from that personal profile? Because if you're not, that's going to be step one to really starting to leverage an ideal content strategy.
So the very first thing was use your personal profile. The second thing there is, who do we want to connect with, Elle? Who do we want to form these connections for people potentially coming and work with us? Do we just want anybody? Should we just, if anybody sends a friend request around the world, should we go connect with them? Should I go try to build up a big audience in Russia for my, Facebook or something? Or like, who am I connecting with?
Yeah, it doesn't do you too much good if you're building your audience of people that can't even do business with you. So we don't want to just build our audience with anybody. We want to ideally build with people that can do business with us. So this is usually a foundational activity that's missing from a social media strategy when we sit down and talk to people, especially when they're not feeling like they're really getting traction with social. They're usually not actively building their connections, sending friend requests to people. This could be something, as little as like sending out 5 friend requests per day can help you with starting to build that audience, especially over time. So as David mentioned, like, don't just send friend requests or connection requests just to anybody. Make sure that you're building your audience with people that can do business with you in some way. Either they are your target audience, your target market, or they know people or work with people that do. So that's absolutely key, especially like you think about it, in business in general, like new opportunities, new leads coming in. Like, we want to start getting in front of people, fresh eyeballs, fresh opportunities. How are you going to do that through social media? It's going to be by increasing your audience and growing your audience. So if you're just staying stagnant with your audience, then you're not really bringing in new opportunities, especially if you want to use this as a strategy, putting effort and emphasis on growing the audience. And how do you get started with that when you're just beginning? A lot of times it's going to be more sending out those connection requests, finding people that are good fit to connect with, and sending them that connection request as you're getting started.
Love it. 2 huge reasons why it's worth leveraging social media and building that out for your insurance business. So first thing we covered is personal profile versus business page. And second thing covered is who am I actually connecting? I want to connect with my target audience, potential strategic referral partners, centers of influence, all the people that make sense that I really want seeing and connecting with me, that might be able to refer to me, might actually be able to work with me or connect me with people as a part of that. And that's who I ultimately want seeing content, not, a bunch of nieces and nephews that are like 3 years old somewhere else or something, or people in another country. And just really connecting with that, not my target audience at all. A lot of people just accept whatever friend request and realize that half of those were spam and bots, and they get hit up all the time from that. And they're like, okay, maybe I shouldn't accept every single friend request. But I'm thinking of two. The first reason is that it's cost effective or free to execute strategies and generate a ton of business. We have clients, doing 6 figures a month that are doing it from social without having to buy leads, without having to run ads. It's incredibly cost effective. So that's number one. I think a lot of you guys got that one, of course, because that's a big attraction to social. The second thing is that it's scalable and it kind of has almost a snowball effect. So as I'm putting time, effort, and building this out, it continues to build on top of each other to where I get more and more results for less and less work. That's something great, right? If I want to build a big business, I want to eventually have more time, or I just want to have more business coming into me and just coming directly to me where I don't even have to go out and find it necessarily. That's a big win for your agency, right? And that's where hey, if I'm putting time, effort, and building this up, I can get more and more results without having to spend as much time, without having to do as much, to where people just come and I wake up to referrals, right? And that's one of the big reasons that I think social is such a big opportunity, is because the time and effort put into it rewards you ongoing and continues to reward you more and more. Like Joe, from the very first time he started social to now, where he just has business and deal flow and other stuff just constantly come to him through social, it's because it's stacked and built and scaled on each other. So that's where Joe, now there's 100+ agents and agencies partnered with their company now, and new business is overflowing and having to find more to people all from social. So that's why we're talking about this. That's why it's worth listening. That's why it's worth some time and effort putting into this versus the smile and dial and trying to get someone on the phone, right? Hopefully that makes sense. So the third thing, so we know to use a personal profile. That's great. The second thing, who am I connecting with? I'm connecting with ideal clients, referral partners, my actual clients. If I have actual clients, certainly connect with them, and centers of influence. That's all who I want to connect with. Well, what else can I do to actually get people engaged with me and to build up where more people are seeing my content and stuff like that? What can I do there, Elle?
Yeah, absolutely. So the third biggest reason why social media might not be working for you is going to be that you're not actually engaging with people. So the algorithm doesn't actually see you participating, contributing to conversations through the form of comments and interactions likes, heart, laughing emojis, that type of thing. So your reaction. You can't just come on social and, post content and expect to get engagement on your content without reciprocating, if you will. So you want to make sure that part of your daily task that you're doing on social is that you are interacting and engaging with people. Again, it doesn't have to be a ton of volume. This is the name of the game here, is going to be consistency. So if you need to set a little 10-minute timer, everything that we're talking about can get done in 10 minutes. You can send, a few friend requests. You can engage with a few people in comments and interactions in 10 minutes or less. So this doesn't have to be a time suck for you. I think that's such a common misconception of oh my gosh, I'm doing organic social media. It's going to be so much time that I'm going to have to commit into this. That's not really true. But going in, making sure that you're building your audience, sending a handful of friend requests, and then that you're engaging with a handful of people in comment. Direct message is even better. So if people are commenting on your stuff, make sure you're responding back to the comments, and you can even take it a step further and send them a message and be like, hey, thanks so much for leaving a comment on my post. And if it's somebody that you know from the past, or maybe somebody that's new to your social profile, you could, ask them a question like, hey, how are things going for you? How's life and business, or something like that, to kind of get that conversation going in direct message. So when you're commenting with people and people are responding to you in the comments, all of these are good signals that are signaling to the social platform that you're engaging, you're interacting. And then when you get into direct message with people, that's like the best thing that you can really do as far as engaging with people, especially if you're in conversation, people are chatting back and forth. Just run this as like a little experiment. Pay attention to this. So if you're in Messenger, it could just, be a friend from high school or something like that you're like catching up with in Facebook Messenger. Just notice the next time you log onto Facebook, probably one of the top 5 posts that you're going to see is going to be something that they posted, because you're signaling to Facebook that you are interacting with this person and they're interacting with you. They're reciprocating. So Facebook's like, oh, these people, like, they like seeing, content from each other. Let's show them each other's content. So this idea is called building affinity. And the more that you can do this and the more profiles that you can do this with, the more you're going to show up in other people's feeds. So you just want to keep it real simple. Just think about, on a daily basis that you're engaging and you're interacting with other people on the platform.
Love it. I think Elaine was asking, why not go down the Facebook rabbit hole? Because that's where we spend a lot of time and we don't get anything actually meaningful accomplished. It's just scrolling through Facebook posts and looking at them, right? So that's what we call the Facebook rabbit hole. Is I want to be efficient and effective with my time on there. Otherwise, it's easy to get sucked in and not get results from things. Awesome. So we went through a few things, a few basics behind the scenes to ensure your content performs well. What's some common mistakes that are killing your reach and engagement and that are hurting you? Okay. I'm not going to dive in too deep on these other than mentioning them because we got a bunch more to cover, but pay attention. Go pull up your own profile if you want. And let's see if you spot any of these on your profile. And these are things that are hurting you that you can stop doing and swap up what you're doing right here. The very first is sharing posts. I can't tell you how many people that we go look at profiles, do profile reviews, everything for them to even start at home base, ground zero. And all their content on their page is just them sharing from other news sources or articles, funny videos, memes and stuff, but it's all shared. It's all them clicking a share button and sharing it to the profile. And that helps you not at all. It doesn't do anything for you. In fact, it kind of probably hurts you actually, because those shared posts, any sort of engagement you even happen to get on them isn't really helping you at all. It's only helping where you shared that from. Even worse, if you're sharing from a business page, like your business page to your profile, Facebook knows that's from a business page. It's going to continue to limit the reach from that as well. So we don't want people going to our profiles, seeing our content, and it's just shared, because that builds no trust. It builds no authority, and it doesn't build anybody even knowing who you are, what I'm posting. That's not you. I want them to see me when they're scrolling through my profile in a lot of different capacities we'll talk about. But the very first thing is don't be sharing posts. And if you are, keep it extremely limited, but try not to share at all because it's not helping you. Okay. So that's the first sin of social media, is sharing constantly, not helping. Okay. Second sin of social media is using links, right? To videos, like, hey, I made a video for YouTube or on Vimeo or somewhere or whatever, or it's a link to my booking for them to book a time on my calendar or for them to go to my website, any sort of links. And I see people using links, especially once you're starting to use like it for business. Like, I'm trying to use my profile to get people to book times for insurance reviews with me or free quote. Here's a link for them to grab a time with me. I made an awesome website. Here's a link to learn all about me and to come work with me. And they say, I'm going to get crickets. Well, it's because I'm trying to send people away from Facebook where they're not going to make money, right? Once again, it comes back. Facebook wants to make money. So if I'm using links to send them away, Facebook can't make money. It's like walking into a Starbucks saying, hey, coffee next door is better. Everybody come over here. And then Starbucks doesn't make money because everybody left the store, right? And they're not too happy about that. Same thing with Facebook. It's going to limit the reach of posts that I use links in so that almost nobody's going to see them. It's going to get way less interaction, engagement, because Facebook doesn't want to encourage people leaving Facebook. This is why you see people that are using Facebook well and know how it works. You're not going to see links very often or almost at all even in any of their content because they don't want to limit that reach. So the second sin of social is using links. Don't use links, guys. All right. Elle, what is the third sin of social media that they should avoid?
Yeah, so that's going to be like hiding your face. So not being like this. This one gets me. I understand it. Like, people don't like putting their face online, or they also maybe just feel really uncomfortable taking pictures of themselves, which I get that too. But again, this isn't something that has to take a ton of time. You can snap a few quick photos of yourself, like in your office or at your home office or whatever, in your car. And so one of the things that I see all of the time is people are not using their faces enough. And you can look up the psychology and the studies that have been done on how people connect with faces. I come from a graphic design background, and this is actually part of, discussions on like when you're creating campaigns, like marketing campaigns, branding campaigns, you always use photography of people of smiling faces. Like that is kind of like a branding, marketing sort of 101 thing. And it's because of the psychology behind people relate to seeing faces. And so if you scroll your social media and what you're posting and you're not seeing anything of your face, you smiling, photography where you can see the whites of your eyes. I'm not talking about like it's a big family photo and you're all the way back here, like, hiding out behind somebody. I'm talking about like seeing the whites of your eyes, seeing your smiling face. If you're not posting this type of content, it's not building trust with your audience. Okay. So getting on video, showing your face. Can you do it? Can you have a social media presence where you don't show your face? Sure, you can. Is it going to be as effective and are you going to get results as fast? No, because the thing that social media does is it building rapport, it's building trust, bringing people into that buying pocket, and it's breaking down their sales resistance. That's what makes it so effective. Is it's a relationship building tool. So if you're not using this to really build that relationship with your audience, then you're not going to really be tapping into the power that you could be getting, the result that you could be getting from social. So a lot of times we'll see people write really great posts that are super valuable, but they'll put like stock photography or things that are like highly produced type of stuff, like maybe from a carrier that they're posting that looks like a flyer. Things like that are not going to perform as well as really like a selfie that you take with your phone. Because again, that's the type of content people are coming to social for. That's the type of content that they're going to relate to. A selfie of you or engaging video with you and your family or something like that's going to stop the scroll more than something that your carrier provided you or something of that nature. So get your face out on social.
And stop the scroll so that people pay attention to what you're saying, right? So we talked a little bit on top reasons why certain posts aren't generating the desired results. So let's now talk about how to boost the algorithm to increase your visibility and reach the right audience and get more leads. So what goes into that? So let's dive in.
Yeah, absolutely. So these are some things that we've already mentioned here, but you really want to think about this as far as like feeding the algorithm. David and I like to explain this by, you can kind of think about like your profile and your social media content. Like it's like we call it the engagement meter. So like almost like a meter that's like high engagement, okay, low engagement, kind of based off of your activities and also the content that you're posting is going to like push the needle one way or another. So some of the mistakes that we talked about, like sharing links, not posting, content that includes like personal content, all of that stuff like starts pushing the meter towards the low side. So we want to keep our engagement meter where we're creating content that's engaging for our audience, people are interacting with, towards the medium to high side. The more that people are engaging with your content, the more of your audience is going to see your content. So how do you do that? Okay. So one of the ways that is one of the best ways to increase engagement, one of my favorite ways that feels natural and non-salesy, is to tell compelling stories. Okay. So you may have heard before this idea that stories sell, like including stories into your sales conversations to illustrate ideas and point. Kind of want to think about our social media content in that way too. So think about like good stories you could tell. Maybe like I think a good prompt always is talking about like the very first insurance policy that you ever sold, or how you got into the business, talking about transformation. Like I was here when I first got started in the business. I was scared. I was down to, my last like $2,000 in the bank or whatever it was. And I took a risk on myself. I bet on myself. I went into business ownership, and now I'm here. I've got this book of clients and these people that I've been able to help. And so like showing a transformation, maybe it's business, maybe it's in like parenthood, maybe it's talking about being a parent, like remembering like your first child and how nervous you were and all of these like, doubts and things that were probably going through your mind. And now, however old your kid or kids are today, and those lessons that you've learned and how much joy you've received from being a parent, and the personal growth that you've experienced and the growth your kid has experienced. Those types of stories are so compelling for people. They love it. And what it does is it shows you as a real life person. Okay. So that's, again, what we're talking about as far as building rapport. But what it also does is people relate to that. They really connect to stories. So that's one of the best ways that you can really like supercharge engagement, is telling great stories like that, especially showcasing like a transformation before or after. And then another great way to get engagement going on your profile too is like celebrating milestones, whether those are your own personal milestones. Maybe you've been able to help, the most amount of clients that you've ever been able to help in a month or a week or a quarter or something like that. Maybe it's something, maybe your kid is graduating from high school or college, or going out and they just bought their first house or things like that. That's happy birthdays, like celebratory type posts. People really like to engage with that type of content as well. So those are some things that you can think about creating that are also really positive as well. That's, I think, an important thing when you're thinking about social media, is like the tone of your content. When people interact with your content, you want them to be left with a good feeling. And then usually the social media platform is going to reward content that gives people the warm and fuzzies, because they kind of associate the warm and fuzzy feeling with the platform as well. So the algorithm is going to be more likely to show your content to more people when it's positive instead of negative.
Love it. So how can I boost the algorithm, increase my visibility, and reach the right audience, get more leads? So one of the things we talked about is proactively building my friend list with your ideal client. So I got to send these connections out so I can build this list. I can have these people seeing my content. There's some other ways they can see it, like leveraging Facebook groups and something called affinity as well, that Elle mentioned earlier. But ultimately, one of the best ways I can do that is building my actual connections of the exact people I want seeing my content and potentially working with me. The second is engaging with their content. We talked about engaging when they're engaging with us and their comments and stuff on our posts or our videos and stuff like that. We want to engage with their content too. So we want to go to their profiles, or as we see their stuff show up in our feed, we want to comment on that. We want to engage with that, as once again, that's helping us pop up in their notifications, them see us a little bit more often. So now as they eventually do connect with us or see more of our stuff, because once again, that helps Facebook even show more of our stuff to them. Now they're more familiar with us. They've seen us before. They've even seen us supporting some of their posts and stuff before. It's much easier to get in connection, or potentially even get on their radar that way too. And then the number way to boost your engagement is with the stories, like Elle said. So once again, just recapping, share those stories. I saw a comment or question is, what if you're just starting off in the business? That actually is a perfect time to share stories. And that actually is when that's like the story of like, why did you get into this? What was that change? Like, why did I decide that insurance was important, something I wanted to do, something I wanted to use to help protect people? And so I think actually a really great example of that is we've had clients brand new come work with us. They just started in the industry, including I think someone who got, I don't think we've had anybody same day they got their license. We have someone the second or third day after getting their license come work with us. And some of the ones that got really great results even off the bat, like within the first day or two of even working with us, is doing a video kind of announcing, hey, here's who I am, here's what I do, here's how I got into this, and here's who I'm looking to help protect or what I'm looking to do. And they pin that to the top of their profile, and people are like, whoa, I had no idea, Sean, that you did that. And I had no idea that, I need help with that. In fact, my parents need help with it too. Can we sit down? Can we connect? And they're like, David, like, I just got like 3 sales off that post just telling people who I am, what I do. And because people had no idea, I was a secret agent is what we call it. And so, that's the thing. Even if you're brand new, there's tons of opportunity, plenty of like stories of why you even got into this, or even off past experiences that you're bringing with you to the insurance industry. Everybody has stories. Everybody's unique. Everybody has experiences. There's something different about you than everybody else just because of who you are, right, inherently. And that's something that we can bring to social media and really make shine as a part of our strategies there. So once again, share those stories and use that photography, use that imagery of yourself. Take more, just if you guys can do one thing, is just take little more photos and videos of daily life. It doesn't even have to be insurance related. It can just be you out mountain biking. It could be you playing video games with a family, you out hiking, you with your pet or with your kids, family, whatever that is. Just get used to taking some more photos and using that, because people need to see you on social, and that helps build that know, like, trust. So just get used to it. A lot of people don't, and then they don't have anything to even share as far as photos and stuff with them as well. And yes, video is extremely important, and that's a skill set definitely learn. We'll talk about that a little bit as well. But use this business related, follow up the engagement in this type of content with a business related post using call to action to ride the coattails of the highly engaging content. As we build up this engagement, now as we talk about business from an educational consultative approach or a story about maybe what I got in this business, now that's getting pushed in front of the audience because we built up the engageometer like Elle mentioned, and now they're seeing this content and able to reach out to us, connect, book times with us, connect about being referral partners with us. All this type of stuff is a part of it. But if I just focus on that side without doing any of the other stuff, then I have no trust and no engagement, so people aren't even seeing, even if I'm covering really good information in regards to insurance, which doesn't do me any good if I'm providing really helpful, valuable content and no one's seeing it, right? Especially if my target audience isn't seeing it. So hopefully that makes sense. If you're sitting there thinking to yourself, wow, this is great information, I would love to work with David and Elle and the team to help me implement these strategies inside my business. Every week we work with agents and agency owners, helping them grow and scale their insurance agencies and more profitably through implementing these social media strategies, strategic referral partner strategies, technology, and sales. They help them fire their vendors, help them attract people who actually want to work with them, sit down with them, talk with them, refer business to them, and grow through this relationship side through the closers click. And so if you're sitting there saying, hey, I want help implementing these marketing and sales strategies, I want to scale and grow my insurance business, whether I'm a brand new agent or 7-8 figure agency, and I want to grow more profitably and sustainably, and we'll get you more information what that looks like. We have actually a few different programs we work with people in, depending on what stage they're at, to help them grow and scale their businesses.